Hello, welcome back
have
to
no
Unquiet
filter
Soul.
these days.
Volume's
Yeah,
okay.
it's just
Can't
it's
tell.
a
What's
fake way
up,
of bonding,
Angie?
really.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm a shit show, but otherwise good. You got your
Yeah. I don't remember if I've had this one. I've had
And that
different
was like the
vanilla
straw that broke the camel's back
varieties,
that led to
but
my
I can't
total
remember if I
emotional
tried this one.
I'm trying to remember if I feel like I had that once.
What do you have today?
Strawberry vanilla.
I think I have. This is really good.
So good, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Olipop has
See you
not
next
missed
time.
yet.
No, they do not miss.
And to be clear, I have tried the other brands. The flavor selection
go fast.
is so much
1,
better
2,
with
3.
Olipop.
Yeah, well,
Unquiet
like with
Soul.
Poppy, their flavors sound nice, but then once I taste it, I'm like, I don't like
Okay.
it. But I feel like Olipop is the opposite because there have been a few flavors where I'm like, oh, this sounds really boring, but
Mhm.
it still tastes amazing.
There was also a couple that I was like even the Ridge Rush, I was really nervous because certain limey things cannot be great. I'm gonna tell you, their lime in anything hits every time.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
there's
know.
watermelon lime that's so good.
So good. Yep. I don't know where Brian's buying it or how. Sometimes he'll go and just buy individual, like get a bunch of different types of whatever. And then other times he buys me boxes. But some of the flavors have been such a surprise because I haven't tasted one that I don't like.
Same. Because even like the colas taste so good.
I was shocked by the vintage cola. I swear
Yeah.
in the vintage cola, for me, I feel like there is, and maybe this is a regular cola thing that I'm just unaware of, but I felt like there was the tiniest hint of vanilla, like the tiniest.
Maybe.
And it is just so refreshing to me. I was also so surprised about the cherry cola because
Same. Yeah.
I don't like cherry coke. Like that's not
Oh,
something I would
really?
reach for. I don't drink soda that much, but I have had it plenty of times and I wasn't like, oh yeah, but so good, so good, so good.
Well,
Good God. Ooh, I'm a shit show. Okay. How has your week been?
it's been busy, but in a good way.
Yeah, I almost sent you this TikTok, but lots of TikToks are talking about how the eclipse is going to land for Scorpio risings, and you're supposed to get a lot of success and money soon. So
Okay with that.
yeah.
Oh, so that's something that happened this week. One of my friends, she's a hairdresser, and she used to do psychic readings on the side, but she kind of got burned out on it because she just has people coming to her like, is my boyfriend cheating on me? So she just kind of got disgruntled with it.
Yeah.
But anyway, every year there's a huge fair. It's called what is it called? Body, Mind, Spirit Expo. And it's a lot of psychics and like crystal dealers. I just made
Ooh,
that
I want to
sound
do
like
that.
scandalous. But she was like, oh, you should do it for your voice readings. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So I applied. Not only did I apply for a booth and get accepted, but I applied for a 1-hour speaking slot. And I
Hell
haven't
yeah.
submitted my thing to get accepted yet, but I'm like, oh, that would be a good
I'm
opportunity.
jealous.
I could
Is
speak
it
there.
too late for me to apply? Where is the information for this?
I'll send you the link later.
Okay, so it's not too late.
I mean, you would have to come here though. They have them in
It's
different
in Hawaii.
locations though. I'll send you the website.
Okay, because I want to do something like that so much.
Yeah, that
there's
would
a
actually be good
psychic
for you.
expo in Texas too.
I'll send you the link because it's not just here. They have it in different
I would
locations.
love to do that. Man, that's so exciting.
Yeah,
I
so
hope
I'm
you get
excited.
the speaking one too.
I know, me too. And I was proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too. It's good to do things like this because that's a little outside the wheelhouse too. It's not what we would
Yeah.
traditionally think, but the second you said it, I was like, I would fucking love to do that.
Yeah, also I think it's a really unique opportunity because like some of those, well, like I think this fair is going to be very woo-woo. So I think it's a good opportunity because I can go there, but I think it's also a good opportunity to speak to a grounded point of view. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I think I'll bring a unique perspective to it.
That's my favorite is the intersection of psychology and spirituality. Like they really
Yeah.
are so rooted in each other. And
that's what I
love it.
want to, I think that's like what I want to talk about. I don't have my topic yet, but I think sometimes there's such a like dividing line between the two things. And it's like, why can't we just talk about it all together?
Yeah, because can I be really honest? Like, I forgot about this because I saw this when, like, I'm embarrassed to admit that I scroll almost immediately when I wake up. So when I first woke up, I think I was checking notifications on Instagram, and I saw this lady that I've interacted with in the past and felt like they were pretty emotionally unavailable, though they were very intuitive and spiritual and all the things. And I guess I don't know who she was referring to, but I have heard lots of stories on TikTok recently about big spiritual creators kind of hitting a downfall right now, like experiencing
Mm,
really just downfalls. And she was referencing a creator, and I don't remember what all she was saying, but I remember thinking, like, who the fuck are you to judge though? Like, I know,
yeah.
like, I had a conversation with you and was like, she wasn't very nice to me. First of all, okay, straight up, she was on my show a long time ago. I had to edit it quite a bit to make her sound nicer. She had said a few things that were
Wow.
listen, maybe I should re-listen at this phase of my life, but like I felt like was mean, like too direct. I do believe there's a way to be too direct and too dry.
Agree.
You know what I mean? Like, to me, I was telling myself in the moment, like, maybe, she's on the spectrum
Mm.
and this social stuff just isn't. She does come across a lot warmer in her videos, but I'm like, she treated me
Because
like the
it's
questions
probably
I
an
was
act
asking were
though.
stupid. Exactly. But that's basically what she was talking about, was authenticity and whatever. And I'm like, okay, well,
Oh,
I didn't get that fucking vibe from you when I fucking met you. You were rude. And that's the thing. That's why I like the intersection so much, because I'm like, listen, I've met some asshole spiritual people. I had a fucking medium on my show one time. I had to edit some of the stuff she said because I had just had that medium Cat on my show that gave me so much peace about my grandma, because she was saying, like, with my mom, like, it's possible it was an early exit, and also possible that she just didn't achieve what she was here for. Like, it just was too much. You know what I mean? Like, listen,
mm,
Angie, you and I almost didn't do what we were here to do. Now, granted,
yeah.
we survived, which I don't think was an accident. So, like,
Right.
but still, there's this possibility. I'm not sure. I don't know. There's also a distinct possibility that my mom, my dad, my grandma, Jake did achieve their purposes. That was exactly how it was supposed to be, and that the only
Yeah.
way that they could do what they were here to do was through their death. Like, that may have been part of it. And some of the things that mediums have said to me make a lot more sense now about how my mom is helping me now from the other side, and the way she works through me to work with Charlie, and the way Charlie's going to be such a part of this
Uh,
mission. All that makes much
yeah.
more sense now. Anyway, sorry to be so long-winded, but this bitch
No.
said to me, I don't remember exactly what I said to her, but she goes, "That's not how that works. That's not how that works." And I was
Mm, like,
like,
like she knows how it works.
so certain. Like Kat really said, there's a chance, like, we don't know. So,
That's just
and
it.
that's
Nobody
all I'm saying.
knows.
Yes, exactly. Where the Get your fucking ego out of your ass, because no, you don't know for sure. There's way too many variations in some of the things that people think. The idea of quantum immortality is not something that all mediums talk about. Like, there's certain things
Yeah.
I'm willing to go, I'm open. Like, I don't need to say yes for sure. Even in some of those beliefs, I'm like, I kind of believe it. And it's okay that I only kind of believe it. You know what I mean? Or if I
Yeah.
fully believe, cool. But I'm also open to, like, changing my perspective at any point. Anyway, my point is, some spiritual people can be real assholes. And then there's the other part of this. I'm going to say Gabby Bernstein. I don't know enough about her to speak really intelligently about her, except that I heard this one time. But like, she's a really big spiritual, like, manifester lady, right?
Yeah.
And I've talked to you on a personal level about someone I had on my show that I was super into, and then heard her say some pretty dumb shit on her show that I haven't listened to the show since then, because I'm like, okay, discernment tells me we don't align. You know what I mean? And so that's
Yeah.
the important part, is that people can get a little bigger than their britches and start catering to certain things, don't stay aligned with their trueness, whatever the case may be. And I don't even want to harp on that because women are judged to way more harshly than men. And also, not my business. It's not my circus, you know? But I think we have to remember you don't have to have a fucking spiritual guru. And it's much
Yeah.
more important to know how to be a human, is my opinion. Like, yes, all the spirituality matters and it's such a great tool. But like these people who are not grounded and think they fucking know everything for certain, who can say
Yeah.
for certain?
I know that's so interesting to me, especially I'm sure you have also heard like so many people who have spoke about near death experiences. And even though there's similarities, there's also a lot of
A lot of
differences. So it's like
differences.
even if you take concrete things that people have been through, how can you say that something is certain in this other
Yeah.
realm?
Ooh, speaking of that, can I be really honest about something?
Yeah.
I'm afraid to say this and I don't know why. Anytime someone talks about a near death experience and is very like, I for sure met God and I was in heaven, I'm like, out. I'm not listening to that shit. Don't care. Don't care. Not even close to what I believe. So I'm like, nope, don't care. That was your experience. Great. Don't care. Go talk to people who want to hear about God in heaven. Can't do it. Is that terrible?
No. No, I have to admit, because most people can keep it very, what's the word, like non-labeled. They'll just say, like, I saw a light, I met this person,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. But I know what you mean when when they start saying God, Jesus, or like anything like biblical, I start to tune out. And
Yeah, I'm like, I
yeah,
just don't believe that. I don't believe you because I do not believe in any way. I'm open to God being maybe in some sort of human form on the other side that you can relate to, but I really feel like it's probably more of a light, like energy,
yeah,
but we're all energy. So maybe there's like a human form, ish form. But like, yeah, I just don't, I'm more into the people who were like, actually, I was scared shitless because for a while there was complete dark and then this happened. Even when people say they met certain archangels, that makes sense to me because some of them are our spirit guides. Some of them say they met their spirit guides. Again, a lot of variation. But if you're going to bring the Bible into it, and I mean, I
yeah.
also understand this is your human interpretation of the event, but I just can't, I cannot listen.
Yeah, I mean, I just have a hard time with religion discussions, period. Oh my God. Do you remember the band Color Me Bad?
Yeah.
Okay. So the one guy, his name's Kevin, his daughter was just on this podcast and she totally aired him out because apparently after he left the group, he got like super religious,
Mm.
but he was like abusing his kids. He was setting his underage daughters up with pedophiles. Like she totally just outed him. And it's so funny to hear her tell this story. And I'm not finished listening to it yet. But all of these things that he has under the guise of being religious and being God's chosen one. And I'm like, this is why I hate religion because people weaponize it like this.
Because that's why it was created. It is a construct.
Yeah, it's like all the fear and
Yes. Yeah. Well, and because I believe that they heard stuff from the Enlightenment age and that Jesus was an enlightened being. I also think he got into some psychedelics. I'm not even playing. But like, I think if you think about the things that Jesus said, not all of the shit, not all the shit they claim he said, but some of the stuff. For instance, the idea of oneness, Jesus spoke about that. Like, I feel like what he said was bastardized, that we
right.
are all
It's like a game of
one.
telephone, right?
Yes, yes. But we are all one piece of this one thing. And I think Jesus said that. I also think he talked about victim consciousness. There were several things that even I know I've told you this before because this was a really profound moment for me where I was like, oh, if he really did upon crucifixion say, forgive them for they know not what they do, I actually fully understand this now because there are so many times that I look at people almost in pity, but really full of compassion because I'm like, you have no fucking clue. Like, you are so clueless about all of this and you're so asleep right now. I get that. There's so many different teachings of his that I'm like, oh, I can see where you guys weaponize that, particularly against women. But that's what I believe the Bible was a document created to oppress women and other marginalized communities. And like Bryson's been teaching me about how race was constructed in America. And I'm like, damn, okay. I never understood how people said gender is a construct, race is a construct. I was like, but it's a real sign. Oh, I get it. Okay, okay, I get it. Like nobody cared about this until a certain thing. And that's what religious is. What was I listening to? I haven't watched this series, but it was on TikTok, a person doing a really cool series about why different regions chose different religions and what
Mm.
their, purpose is
Yeah,
in
because it
those.
is kind of regional, at least in the
Yeah.
United States.
Yes. And so that's why I'm like, whatever, fuck all religion because it all boils down to the same thing. Well, not like Buddhism, but even that there's a little bit of, um I love the Eastern stuff, but even some of that you can get lost in the sauce. Truly, this is about an individual experience as part of a collective. And how can you balance being an individual as part of a collective and what is your role as an individual in the collective? And that self has to come first. Maintaining your highest self connection is the most important, but then how do you assimilate into the collective as well without being bogged down, without getting lost in the sauce? That's the shit that really matters is discernment, intuition, guidance, not making sure you're following the right guru, which listen, I mean, when you're first into spirituality, you're going to follow anybody who's like talking about shit that no one in your life has ever talked about. But then you get to a place where you start to see like not everyone's aligned, you know?
Yeah. Do you know anything about Satanism?
I really don't. I mean, I've heard a
So,
little, but not much.
yeah, I don't know much, but I know one thing, and I actually really like this. One of the principles of Satanism is to worship the teachings, not the teacher. So it's actually not, I don't know what it's about or why it's called Satanism, but it's not about worshiping Satan. But I love that because I feel like, for instance, I'll just talk about the Catholic Church. A lot of people worship God and Jesus, but they don't worship the teachings. Like the number one teaching of all of Christianity is love thy neighbor. But how many Christians hate gays, hate so and so, hate this? So
Right,
they're
everyone.
worshiping, yeah, they're worshiping the teachers, not the teachings.
Well, because Angie also, they hate each other. If you're not practicing in the way that they're practicing, they
Yep.
hate you. And that was something I remember. I probably told this story 100 times, but when I first started working at my first hospice job, you had to go and kind of like meet with each little discipline to understand their job. I met with a chaplain. First of all, I was open and honest about the fact that I was living with my ex-husband, but we weren't quite divorced yet but we were like emotionally separated but trying to figure out how to get financially separated. First of all, was asked if we were still sharing the marital bed, as if that's any of your business. Second of all, where do you go to church, whatever? And I was like, oh, I go to this one church, and it was a mega church and it was very big and whatever, but the shit talk, no hesitation, no hesitation. And
Mm,
I'm like, sure, now in hindsight I have lots to say, but it has nothing to do with the fact that it was a mega church or the type of worship it was or whatever. It's more about like, the normal that I judge that church the same way I judge the small church. I judge religion, like I try not to have judgment for it, but I do. And I judge religious people. I try not to. Like, I'm trying not to, but it is a thing. It's all trauma. I have so much religious trauma. But I was like, you're talking shit to me about my church. Like, that's more entertainment than it is
yeah. What a
God.
weird thing to like criticize someone about.
This is not that uncommon. They hate each other too. That's what's bizarre to me. You're never good
Yeah.
enough. You're never good enough. But that's the fucking premise of the whole thing is that you're never going to be worthy enough for God's love. And that you just have to accept that. He did it because he loves you. What the fuck? Do you know I watched oh my God, that just reminded me. I saw this fucking TikTok. Oh, I gotta get off TikTok. Anyway, I saw this TikTok. This girl's like, I don't think she was actually holding a baby because there was a blanket over it, but she was like saying biblical shit to babies out loud until you realize how weird it is. But it's like, oh, mommy would sacrifice you. Mommy would sacrifice you for God, and that would be so good. God would be so happy if I sacrificed you. You know, like just naming
Yeah, it
different
sounds
shit from the Bible.
ridiculous.
Yes. And I was like, so real. But listen, when I was asleep, you couldn't have forced anything on me. Like, I would have just been like, oh, devil. That's the devil. You just don't get it because you're the devil. So, no, I would have, girl. I was a defender of that Bible. I was a defender. Like, yeah, Jonah did get swallowed by the well and live in it for 3 days. Noah did build an ark.
Yeah, I took everything literally. I
So
didn't
literal.
realize the Bible was metaphors until like much later in life.
There are people who still be taking that shit real literal. But yeah, so anyway, I love this because I want more opportunities to use my spiritual gifts, you know?
Hmm.
But I had a fun little manifestation. So Charlie's starting middle school. She's pretty anxious. We went and did her schedule pickup and whatever. And her best friend, they do have 2 classes together, but they don't have lunch together. And there wasn't enough people to compare schedules and all the thing, right? And one of her oldest friends, I said, well, she hasn't even picked up her schedule yet because she went on a vacation. So she's going to get her schedule on Monday. I'm like, I bet you guys will have the same lunch. And I just decided they're going to have the same. I'm not worrying about this. They're going to have the same lunch. Her mom texted me this morning. We had swapped schedules and she said, okay, so they don't have any classes together, but they do have lunch. And I
Oh,
said, "We're
nice.
manifesting this."
I think that's the most important part. I remember that I was the most anxious about lunch, and I would always call my friend. Like, yeah, we would call and compare schedules, but I was always the most worried about lunch.
Yep. And so I'm so excited. And I said she knows exactly where her class is because she has been in that classroom before for a band thing on the weekend one time. So Charlie will be coming down the stairs. She'll be coming out of her class. They'll be able to meet right there by the cafeteria. And she was like, perfect. They're so excited. So I was like, yes. And she's like, thank you so much for manifesting this. Cause she was also anxious, you know, but like, I was like, Charlie came in this morning. I was like, you guys have the same lunch. She's like, yes. So she's so excited now. Like, she's like, okay, I don't have to worry about it. But I was like, I did manifest that, just so you know. There was something else. You know how it goes. I was like excited to tell you stuff. Oh, okay. So I did I did a live on TikTok over the weekend with a new friend, Leanna.
Ooh,
Um,
how'd it go?
about identity. Good. Oh, I vaped and got restricted for a little bit, so whoopsie. I didn't know you couldn't vape. TikTok's so fucking stupid, literally. I'm like, okay, Perez Hilton can cut his penis on camera and not get okay. Like, that's
Yeah.
interesting that you left that up for 30 minutes, but like, okay.
Or there's
Um,
this other guy, sorry to interrupt, but like he went on a rant about International Creamer because they changed their product. He got taken down. Yeah, so it's like the stupidest shit that they censor. But anyway.
well, engaging in the activity that I was engaging in is dangerous, so proceed with caution. We were restricted for a little bit. But I had started thinking about, because, oh my God, that end of that conversation last Monday, I was on a high for the whole week. Like, because I was like, identity, yeah, shit, like, wow. And so I just talked about it. I did a solo episode. I like all kinds of shit about identity. And I did another one for today about identity because I started thinking, I'm like, okay, so how when you do have limited capacity, limited tolerance, all the things, what are shifts that you can still make? And it was more like energetic shifts, but like, you know, how do you respond when you're not, like, how do you treat yourself when you aren't as productive, like when you need rest? What
Mm,
are the relationships that you're in? What do they look like? Are they
yeah.
reciprocal? Are they lighting you up? Where are you not being authentic? Obviously, I'm not perfect, so I know there's gotta be some way, but, like, I feel really in alignment with my authenticity. I really don't, and I also don't feel like I'm in relationships that don't serve me. I can see some ways I water myself down in some places, but that's something I actively work on. So, like,
Yeah.
I really feel like I am in a season of receivership and that, like, I'm not scared, and I just kept saying belief over behavior, belief over behavior, belief
Mm,
over behavior, because that's what kept coming up is like, I am. I already am. I am the person. And that was one of the things too, is like, instead of fake it till you make it, like, how would you behave if you believed you already
Yeah,
are
and
that
that's why I
person?
don't like fake it till you make it, because it's still like an act, so to
It's a
speak.
mask. Like, it's not embodied. And I really wanted to look into, like, okay, so what does it mean to be embodied in a belief? And like, what is the difference truly between, okay, I'm going to go to work as this person and I'm going to get this thing out of the refrigerator as this person, like whatever little
Mhm.
behaviors that you want to shift. What is the difference between earnestly trying to shift a behavior as this new identity and embodying it? And to me, it really was understanding that you already are this new identity. You always have been. You're just remembering that
Yeah.
identity better. You're
Yeah,
scraping
because it's
away
not
what
about
doesn't
being
belong.
someone different.
Right. And it's about clarity and it's about passion. And again, just remembering who you were before everyone told you who to be. And
Yeah,
I think it's about really like centering yourself in that identity and realizing fear has held you back. You've been
yeah,
self-sabotaging. Like, it's not so much about like, I need to go and do 1,000 different things that I have been like I haven't done before. You don't need to like wipe out who you are. You just need to clear out a few things that didn't belong in the first place, not like change your entire routine. I said something that I'm a little worried is going to be misconstrued because I wasn't thinking of anyone but me when I said this. But a clip I released today says, like, being your most authentic self is gonna be your best behavior in an identity shift. Like, it's gonna do a lot more than a 5 AM workout or making sure that you
yeah,
fit all your macros. And I was not thinking of anyone but me whenever I said that because of things that I was imagining I need to do in order to step in. Like, because I got really overwhelmed really quick in that conversation, so I had
yeah.
to, like, chill a little bit. And, sorry if it triggers people, I didn't mean it, like,
No, I know what
personally.
you mean, though, but in all fairness, for some people, that may be in alignment with them. Like, I actually just recorded a YouTube video because I was talking about how we conform to society standards and everyone else so that we belong, but that pulls us away from who we are. And I kind of went on this rant about everybody is the same. And I was like, everybody does Pilates, everybody drinks matcha. But then I kind of backpedaled and I'm like, if that's your thing, that's fine. But it's only a problem if you're doing it to conform as opposed to you wanting to do it. So it's the same
Right.
concept, but yeah, people might misunderstand, but
Yeah, because
I
I'm
don't,
not
I'm
saying
kind
don't
of
get up at
like,
5 AM. I'm saying if you
yeah,
aren't currently waking up at 5 AM to work out and that feels really heavy to consider, I'm not even talking about the people who that's their current regimen. I'm talking truly about the people who think because they're watching someone else online say, get up and grind, never miss a Monday, but they can't fucking do that. That's okay. Work more on how you're showing up to the things you're currently doing. And that's embodying what being able to hold your current fucking life is embodiment. Like, what noticing your patterns of self sabotage, noticing where you're watering yourself down, holding your current life is going to get you so much further than because if you're fucking white knuckling through life right now, you got it all wrong, hun. So you can start right there. How can you get through the day without white knuckling it? How can you find peace in your normal everyday activities? How can you find joy and love in what you have right now? That's the first step. I was truly speaking because of myself, thinking I can't fucking do that right now. I know that I can't. I'm not going to pretend I can.
yeah.
That's not in my wheelhouse right now. I used to be a 4 AM workout girl. I'm not saying I've never done it. And if you are, props to you. That's great. I'm not talking any amount of shit about working out at any time. Or if you're counting your macros, I'm not talking shit about that. But if you're only fucking doing it because some fitness influencer told you to and you're doing it because you should, then you're fucking on the wrong path, babe. You just are.
Well, this is actually related to our religious guru conversation because just because someone is on Instagram saying that they get up at 5 a.m., do a cold plunge, do all this shit, that doesn't mean it works for everybody. So I think the whole issue is the lack of discernment because you're giving your power away to these things outside of yourself instead of asking yourself, like,
What
what
do I
do I
need?
need?
Mhm.
What does my next level identity look like?
Yes, because that's the whole point is that you are this individual as part of a collective. You have your own unique magic that you bring. And if you're being someone else, you're never going to tap into that. Like learning that like my voice carries a frequency that synthesizes information easily for others. If I was trying to mimic someone else, I would never have tapped into that, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I don't feel called to do a cold plunge. I actually think it's terrible for your nervous system. So I'm not doing it. I will never do that. But I almost did because someone said it was so good for you. You know, like I imagine starting my day every day like that, how miserable I would be.
Oh, yeah. Just like pure adrenaline shock.
Yes. And if you are doing that and that feels good for you, I'm not talking shit to you. I'm saying for me, it doesn't feel right. And this is a problem we have too. You hear somebody say something like that, and then you get all fucking defensive because you're like, well, blah, it's good. It's good for you, hun. I'm not talking shit
Yeah.
to you at all. I'm saying for me, and you don't like it because I'm not you.
And I feel like that's why we feel like we have to tiptoe around our words. Because after I recorded that video, I actually was kicking myself for backpedaling because I was like, that's how I really feel. I was just using Pilates and matcha as an example. If someone gets offended by that, like, that's their own problem. That's not mine.
Right, right. It's the whole bean salad thing. It's
Yeah.
not every ounce of content is meant for every person. And like I'm being so sassy right now, but like I just
No.
think like I'm anticipating somebody being triggered and responding to that clip. And but I thought that while I was editing and thought that and I did post it intentionally and said let them be triggered. But
I feel
I
like
am not
commenting. I get up at 5 a.m. and it works for me. I would never do that to you.
I'm excused. But do you know what I'm saying? Like
I know
if
exactly
you
what
are
you're
in a
saying.
season where the idea of changing every last fucking thing about your daily routine feels really overwhelming, good, because you don't have to do that to begin with. Let's start with those internal shifts. It's always got to start with those internal shifts. Just like you help me understand there's never going to be a lifetime from here till the end of earth that I didn't
Yeah.
lose a child. And so this is the new me. I don't know how long I'll be this me, but this is me and I'm tired. I have a limited capacity and my tolerance is very low. So, hence being sassy. But like I'm just seeing all this weird shit out there right now like where people really are just being so attacked for things and I'm like, boy, that's just projection and insecurity because again, I'm not saying this to try to like backpedal. I'm actually excited for the fight because I'm not saying if that's already you and you're feeling really jazzed about that, that you should change that. If you're a 5 a.m. workout person, you should good for you. That's fucking amazing,
Yeah.
actually. But like, let's reserve judgment for those people who aren't 5'8". Like, it doesn't fucking matter. And when we get into that mindset of like, well, why can't you just, okay, why can't you just care about
When I
something other
was
than your workout? I don't know.
when when I was really into lifting weights and working out, I used to follow this guy. I don't know if he's around anymore. His name is Tom Venuto, but he was honestly like the best guru because, he's like, here are the facts. Like, if you want to be in a calorie deficit, you have to track your calories and be in a deficit. It was just very matter of fact. And when people would ask him, like, what is the best time to work out? What is the best way to get protein? His answer was basically, whatever works for you, or the best time to work out is the best time that you'll stick to it. Because if you hate getting up at 5 a.m., you're not going to stick to that workout. So just work out whenever's best for you. Like there's no magical formula in terms
I
of
followed a guy like that
or
too.
whatever. Yeah, I
It's
need to
so
look him up.
refreshing compared to those people who act like fucking even Tony Robbins. Like, well,
Yeah,
if you can't even do that, well then, and like they assign this morality to the fact that they're waking up at 5 a.m. and like you're not. And then even,
yeah.
I don't know if you've heard about this. What is it? My 5 to 8 before my 9 to 5 or something like that. Like people like, let's get all this shit done, all the MLM people, all the little people, they're trying to get this chunk of stuff done at from 5 to 8 and then they get ready for their 9 to 5. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't, I don't think you're happy, bro. I really don't. And the idea that you have to get up that early to do things, if that is not your natural rhythm, which is a very real thing, it's not sustainable. And then we wonder why we
Yeah,
hit burnout.
exactly.
And shit, I don't miss waking up at 4. I don't. I mean, and then it got to where I was waking up at 3:30 so I had time to, like, relax before I went to work out. 'Cause I hated waking up and just getting up, you know what I mean?
I know
I'm
exactly what you
literally
mean.
I was getting, like, 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. That's not good. That's not good.
Mm-mm. But some people will preach like, "Oh, I only sleep 4 to 5 hours a night," and I used to feel guilty for sleeping like 8 hours a night, but that's what I needed.
Bro, I don't know anybody that's gonna do well physically off less than 6. Like, some
I
people
think
don't
there
need
are
8,
some
but
genetic freaks, but it's rare.
rare, and also, though, they don't have the life I want. You know what I mean? They just
Right.
don't. And I don't believe that the life I want requires that much self-sacrifice. And I think that's a big one. Looking in areas where you're self-sacrificing because you should be replenishing, nourishing, loving every ounce of self at all times. So if you're finding yourself at the lowest part of your priority list, that's not good. That's not good. So I've just been really into that, like for a whole week now, just really into just those small shifts of, where can I improve energetically? Where can my
Yeah,
outlook change? Where, I again I feel like I'm being pretty authentic, but like whatever inauthenticity I have is an absolute blind spot. That's what I'll say. I'm not saying I don't have
yeah,
any, but that will reveal itself in time because I'm not aware of it. But like, I feel like I'm doing a really good job of, in one small way was, we've talked about this, but looking for any place to speak and kind of tailoring my thing around what they were wanting versus allowing natural opportunities to open up. Like, that is something I'm actually really passionate about. Like, you mentioning this expo, I'm like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. I would love to do
oh,
that.
yeah.
Like
Oh, I did
doing things
make a
that just
note. I was
open
like,
up
"I need
like
to make a
that.
note." I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you the link for it.
But that's so much more exciting to me than other things. And really just looking for opportunities that really are aligned for me. That's one way that I can shift things, and I have been. So just not trying to meet everybody else's standards or be for everyone. And I feel like it's sneaky. That can sneak in where you're not realizing, oh, I'm trying to be something for everyone. And you just can't be. That's
Yeah,
not how you even assimilate into a collective. You find a group, you find a tribe, people who are aligned with your particular message, I feel. And maybe there's more growth that I have even in that area to find. I mean, I'm just now kind of like finding a tribe. You know what I mean? After 2 years,
yeah,
there was such a period of isolation. I feel like I'm just now starting to like really make like friendships in the online space. I mean, they're not here, but like I feel like that's part of it. I'm supposed to travel more and, do things like that. But
right.
yeah, I've just been really into the identity stuff. But I don't want the whole episode to be about that because fuck, I've spent lots of episodes over the last week talking about it, and our episode tomorrow will be about that too. But yeah,
But it's
so
really important. Also, I don't know if you and I have talked about this, but one thing I always tell my clients, because it can feel overwhelming, because the overall concept is like every decision you make it
mhm.
from the person that you want to be. And that can be really overwhelming. So the first step I always tell people, I was like, just practice getting out of autopilot, because think of like you get up and scroll. So you're immediately just zoning out. And I don't know about you, but like when I brush my teeth or sometimes when I'm driving, like I just zone out. But those are like perfect opportunities to be like, is there a different decision I could be making now? So just getting yourself out of autopilot is huge in these identity shifts.
Absolutely, because how are you ever gonna make a different decision if you're operating from the place that, you were programmed
Just
from?
on,
And
yeah,
that's the
exactly.
biggest shift, honestly, is learning how to be present, be where your feet are. I feel like
Yeah.
that was one of the first things that I really, really worked on just because I lived so much in my head and I was really struggling.
Yeah. I think
But
that's a
yeah,
good first step for anybody.
yeah, because you can't make intuitive decisions either if you're not present. And that's what so much of this is getting in your body noticing shifts so you can be like, what is that? Before you even recognize that you have an emotion, you can feel a sensation happening in your body. For the first time ever, I'm feeling things that I didn't know were present before and just kind of going, what is that? Interesting. Like, I didn't, that's how I even became aware that I was scared to receive, that what did make me feel unsafe because I felt the zap before I even recognized fear.
Mm,
And I was like, what
yeah.
is that? And then I was tracing back, like, "Oh, this is what happens when I receive. I feel so fucking unsafe. I feel like I can't get my hopes up and I don't want to be betrayed by my expectations, things like
Yeah.
that." And it took a while to learn that, but I learned that because I was so connected with my body.
Yeah, because your body never lies.
Right. It's has all the answers, man. And I know that people who aren't used to having those conversations, it feels so just crazy and out there. But that was the truth for me, is just being like, oh, damn, my body was telling me something. But even like, I don't know if this ever happened to you as a kid, but there were certain times I'd go to certain places and the energy, the vibe was just off. Some places I felt so fucking comfortable. I could sleep wherever in their house. Like, I had certain friends I stayed the night with all the time, and then there were people that I maybe stayed the night with twice because the vibe was just fucking off. And my body told me that. Like, I'm tense, my tummy kind of hurts, things like that.
Mhm.
Those were things that I didn't understand at the time. Now I do. But like, it will always communicate to you.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I
I'm
used to ignore my body all of the time.
oh my God, me too. I yeah. I didn't even I had very little awareness over it to begin with, but the things that even the tension, like, just not even being aware of how much pain I was
Oh,
in
yeah.
all.
I used to, like, clench my jaw all of the time. And then when I finally became aware of it and wanted to stop, it was so tight that I could not unclench it. I actually had to get Botox in my jaw for several years just to get it to a point where it wasn't automatically clenching.
Yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah. Did you get TMJ?
I never had TMJ. Well, I was never diagnosed.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talking about how tense their jaws are. I mean, I feel like I clench much less than I used to. I mean, I'll notice I kind of am, but I just don't do it the way I used to. My shit really is like my neck and shoulders. And then my lower back. I carry so much tension there, but I think just being aware of what things feel like is so important, and that's a big part of getting out of autopilot, is just
Yeah,
noticing your body, just noticing what it's telling you. And listening. Listen. Like, if you need rest, fucking rest.
that's a hard one, though. I just had to do that this weekend, but I
Did you
did.
rest?
Yeah.
What did you just like, what do you mean? You took a nap or you took some time off or
No,
what?
I skipped my workout on Saturday morning because I was like I could feel like my hamstring was tight, like I was like my body just felt exhausted, like my muscles weren't feeling it. I could tell my muscles needed recovery. So I was like, "Nope, I'm just not gonna work out." Which that's a huge for me. I used to work out through anything, which just drove me into the ground.
Yes. We went, I think Saturday, we did like school clothes shop, or we did school supplies that day. Oh, sorry. Good God. And we went to one mattress store. And after that, I was like, okay, 3 hour nap for me. Like, I was so tired. There was several different things. We've been going someplace getting ready for school like every day. Like, Wednesday, she had orientation. Thursday, she had schedule pickup. Friday, we did some shopping. Saturday, did some shopping. Sunday, we did some shopping. Like, we've been going somewhere every day, which she actually was like, we've been getting ready and going somewhere every day. I like that. And I'm like, I know, it's nice to get out of the house. But like, I was like, I'd have to come home, and some of the tired was just being cooped up in the car with people, her being excited and talking, being around a bunch of
Yeah.
energies in a mall, things like that, to where I would just have to come and just be in a cocoon of like, okay, let's get all that energy off. I don't want those people following me home. Thank you. Because you just feel everything in this new way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard thing is absorbing energy.
Yeah, but I never realized I did that.
Oh, really?
Yes, I just didn't understand how much of a drain it was to be around people. Like, and that's part of what's making me so tired, is also, I do have more clients, so I'm doing more one-on-one, so I'm much more tired from that.
Yeah. See, I used to know that other people drained me, but I didn't know what to do about it. Now I'm better at clearing my energy.
I just know when I need a cocoon. I just have to get away from people. And like last night, I was like, okay, I'm going to bed and told everyone I was going to sleep, but I just needed to be alone. Like I was so tired of my family. I was like, okay, well, we've spent enough time together today. Thank you. But I did go to the mall yesterday, so that was a lot. I got a fucking Dutch oven that was on clearance, and I'm stoked about it. It was a Martha Stewart one too.
Wait, I forget what those are.
I mean, it looks like a pot, honestly. Like it's like
Oh,
this
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
wide.
what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, yeah.
I didn't understand that, but I've
But it
started
like,
seeing more recipes.
but it heats because you put the lid on and it traps the
Uh-huh.
heat in. Okay.
Yeah. And one day I'm gonna make sourdough bread and you have to have a Dutch oven. So and Bryson's found several recipes that require it. And I was like, we're never gonna find one that's cheap again. And I also got a crock pot for $16. I want a
Well,
KitchenAid,
that's
but they're like
exciting. So now you're going to
500.
make bread?
At some point, I'm gonna try sourdough. It seems hard, but I want to learn. It actually doesn't seem hard. It seems like things can go wrong. Like stuff that's just completely out of your
Yeah.
control. That's the thing. Which I'm like, I kind of feel prepared for that. And I did some crafty thing.
Isn't it also largely dependent on like the mother yeast that you use? I don't even know the right
Yeah, the
words.
getting it started. Yeah, the starter.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
The starter yeast or
that's the big one. Yeah. And also though, your environment plays a big role. Like the stuff in the environment. So, yeah, I've been looking at it and thinking about it. That's not the only reason I bought the Dutch oven because we found other recipes that use it. So I'm not in any hurry to try to make it, but yeah, I want to try to learn a little bit. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. That's really been my life for the last week. Aside from I did get a new I put a dining room table kind of in my living room because the living area was like this one space, but I had a big chunk of space on the other side of it. And I wanted more space for us to eat like as a family because our other dining table doesn't really fit in our actual dining room that well. And Jake's peace lily has like several other plants in it and it's really big and it takes up most of the dining table. So we don't eat together. We have not eaten together in so long, so I that was something I wanna change, and I wanna start having my family over more, so, like, my sisters and their families, and so I wanted a space for us, so I got that. It was really cheap on Amazon, and, we finally, the table was delivered yesterday. The chairs were delivered before that, but we got all that put together, and Charlie is finally done with back to school stuff. I'm so grateful for that.
when does she
Um,
go back?
Thursday.
Why in the middle of the week?
Because it's really hard to start your schedule back like that on a Monday and then have to go the full week. So they just get a couple of days to
Uh,
reacclimate and
oh yeah, that
then
is
get a
actually
break.
smart.
Yeah, it's so much better that way. The years that they've started on a Monday or Tuesday were fucking horrid. That first week was just so rough. I mean, because it's hard anyway, getting up after you've been sleeping all summer and but I'm excited that all the back to school stuff is now fucking done. I that was overwhelming. Like, oh my God, we gotta get this, we gotta get this. Bryson still needs some clothes and some supplies for school, but he doesn't start till next week. So he's going to a 4-year university now, transferring because he got his associates. So
Oh,
that's
that's cool.
exciting. Yeah. I'm excited for them. Hopefully it's a good year. There's
Yeah,
a
it's
lot
like they're
going
both
on.
starting something new.
Yeah, I'm excited for them. But yeah, it's been a fairly good week. I did have to have a pep talk with myself yesterday on before we went shopping because I was like, I don't want to do this. But then I was like, Melissa, last year at this time, you were having to do tons of Uber eating deliveries to be able to afford any amount of school clothes for Charlie. So you fucking be grateful that you have the money to do this and you go fucking shop with gratitude in your heart. And I did, and we had a really fun time, like really fun.
Nice.
So much fun. We all were
See,
in
like,
such a
yeah,
good
your
mood.
attitude makes a huge difference.
And I really did have to talk to myself because I was really dreading it because the mall is crazy. But we literally had so much fun. Like we were just choo 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 and also maybe the prices didn't seem as bad because I actually had the money this year, but like the first place I took her to be able to buy a few things because she had several activities to do for back to school and I wanted her to feel good. We went to Kohl's. Oh my God, we got way more at JCPenney yesterday than we did at Kohl's and it was half the price. And then she wanted to go
Whoa.
to PacSun and we got quite a bit there. Together, those two places together did not even equal what we spent at Kohl's.
Really? I thought Kohl's was
Nah,
affordable,
bitch, they
or at least it
expensive.
used to
They
be.
expensive.
Mm.
And I'm not even including the money that we spent at the Sephora inside of Kohl's. Like, I'm saying just on the
Wait, there's a
clothes.
Sephora inside of Kohl's?
In
I
some of
haven't
them,
been in
yeah.
Kohl's in years. I'm so
Yeah.
like,
In some of them, yeah, it's a new thing, and she's never been, and she wanted to, so I was like, okay, as a treat for back to school stuff. I said, okay, for birthdays and Christmases, we can do things like this, but otherwise, you get in the dupes. Like, now, when you start high school, you can get this makeup for back to school again, but like, we ain't doing this expensive ass makeup every back to school. She was like, I'm fine with the dupes. I just had never been in there or whatever, but it was fun. Like, I've had so much fun with her, really. Like, we've had a really good time.
oh, that's
And
cool.
she really likes the new table. She was like, "It's so pretty." And so she's just such like a little whimsical little whatever. So she's had a really good time with all the new stuff, but we've had so much fun. And yesterday was so much fun. I couldn't believe it. We went and purchased her a mattress before we went to the mall. Brian is who found us after PacSun and said, "Hey, JCPenney actually has mattresses. Do you want to look?" We went, we're laying on them. I mean, we were just having the best time. And that's when I found the clearance section. Was like, oh my God, they have crock pots for
Because you
16
were in the
bucks.
energy of fun.
We had so much fun. But I really did have to talk to myself about that. Cause like, girl, you have the money to do this. So you can actually have a really good time versus sitting around stressing about how you're not going to be able to pay your car payment if you go over this budget.
Mm,
Like,
yeah.
what are you doing? What are you doing? So the pep talk helped. And I'm just really excited for this week. Like, I feel like good things are going to happen. I'm nervous for the eclipse, but I'm also like,
Wait, what day
ready.
is the eclipse?
Wednesday. And the medium that I was supposed to meet with last week had to reschedule. She said she had a family emergency, so I'm seeing her tomorrow.
Wait, the one about Jake. Nice. I can't wait to
I
hear
know.
about that.
I know, I'm so excited. Anyway, I know you probably have to go, so I don't want to keep you. Make sure everybody to check out the show notes. Angie's bio site's there, my link tree. We love you and appreciate you being here. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Hello. Before you go, make sure to check the show notes for all the links. You can join us on Patreon to get our weekly companion, The Unquiet Lowdown, and explore the other membership offers waiting for you there. And if you're enjoying the show, it means so much when you hit that follow button and give us a 5-star rating to help other souls find their way here.